Hi, and welcome to this workshop, Energy and Effectiveness for Single Women in Business. And I really hope you're going to enjoy this amazing content and it's going to make a difference in your life, your love life, and your business. So before we begin, I'm Tabitha Jane. I'm a relationship coach. I specialize in dating and helping single women really get into their own power and also have more success in their love life and in their business. So without further ado, I'm just going to share my screen and jump straight into this. So what I would love you to do is really take this time for you. You know, I know you're going to want to listen to this or watch this while you're doing the washing up or you're doing other tasks to use the most, be really productive with your time. And I know that because I do that too. But I really, really invite you to take this time for yourself, for you to really look at what's going on for you and how you can make some little changes and shifts that give you more success and personal balance in your life, particularly when you're single, because that's like an extra plate that you are juggling. Grab yourself a pen and paper. It is a workshop. I'm going to be asking questions, getting you to think about things for yourself and how it's showing up in your life. And also, grab a glass of water, a snack, a blanket, whatever you need to do to make yourself really comfortable. I want you to get rid of those distractions. So if you can do this at a time when you haven't got children around or you haven't got clients around or you're not in a busy office, turn off your notifications on your phone or switch your phone off. I know I just said that. Or what other distractions? TV, radio, but it's usually notifications, whether it's email, social media, WhatsApps, all pinging away, your dating apps. Just shut that all down just for this time, not forever, just for now, so that we can really focus on this. So I'm really excited to get going, and I shall. So the first thing is, what is your greatest challenge around energy and effectiveness? What is the thing that gets in the way? So grab your piece of paper and pen and start just making a couple of notes. Where is your energy disappearing? Where are you giving energy to that's maybe not being very effective? And what does that look like in your life? Just write down a couple of notes about what your greatest challenge is. And think about, what does ineffective really look like in your life? Sometimes we're just too busy to get the important things done. And when I talk about important things, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about going for that walk. I'm talking about meditating. I'm talking about self-care. I'm talking about self-pleasure. I'm talking about you taking time for yourself, having a soft play date. You're too busy to do those things. And you're distracted by all of the things that we've got, all those distractions we have in our lives. Reactivity, how often are you being at the effect of others and situations? You're constantly firefighting. You're getting a phone call from your mum that this thing's going on, and the children and clients and all that stuff. And then you drop in dating as well. How many people are pulling on your time and you're spreading yourself too thin and you're just being reactive to what's going on around you. Time to do things, but no energy to apply it. You might have the time sometimes, it's like, oh, I've got a few hours now to do that thing I want to do. I'm knackered. I'm so tired that I can't actually get up and do those things. Maybe it's having problems with making decisions. We have that analysis paralysis where we're so consumed with what's happening, and women are just we do overthink a lot of the time. Our mind goes into a million places. We've got that really diffuse energy, and it can really make it difficult and hard to make decisions, especially depending where you are in your cycle, whether you're pre or peri or post-menopausal. It definitely affects that. Well, do you know what? You just need a holiday. I just need a break. Are you there? So the problem is we just don't get taught this at school. We don't get taught how to be effective, and we really take our energy levels for granted. And I'm sure you'll remember, you know, when you were like 18, 20, you felt like you had an abundance of energy. You could go out, you could go clubbing till late at night, you could get up with only 3 hours sleep, with a hangover, still go to work, still, you know, produce a good day's work, maybe a little bit hungover. And you could do that. You could run for longer, you could do more in your day. And just as we get older, that energy just naturally starts depleting. And I'm sure you will have noticed that in your life too, regardless of how old you are. So today we're going to look at the single biggest obstacle to effectiveness. We're going to look at that, and we're going to look at those 3 shifts, which is going to increase your energy and effectiveness so that you can look after yourself better, you can have more success in your love life and in your business life. And it kind of spreads into every area of your life, actually. The superwoman myth, love this, and how we need a new approach to get things done with less effort. The big time management mistake, we can look at identifying your needs to increase your energy. And there's an opportunity to work closely with me. It's going to be a slide at the end. This is not a big sales pitch. This really is juicy content that is applicable, that you can use, and going forward from today, start making a difference in your life. But perhaps we need a new approach. Now, this was me, single, prior to doing some of the work that I now teach. And I do love this picture because I am actually a bit of a silly person. I love a bit of comedy. I love geeking around. And this is me doing a workshop with some clients in a really beautiful venue. And I was that person. I'd call myself a recovered/recovering workaholic. So I am still very motivated to put effort in, and I'm really driven by learning and developing. It's kind of who I am, and that growth. But when you're doing that all of the time, like I remember when I first became self-employed, sort of 13 years ago, after I retrained to be a coach, and I was on my laptop, I was on social media, I was obsessed. You know, I'd sit at my dining table at the time from, you know, get there for 9, have my lunch, you know, be there till 6, 7, 8 o'clock, which is how I was when I worked in the corporate world. You know, that transition just happened straight back into my business life. And it did really have an effect on my energy, and I was really burning out. And it wasn't until I really started to learn the work with one of many, which is very much about stepping into a different power and a different energy. And that served me so well. But I was that woman who was just like crazy. And it's no surprise that being in my masculine, being in that go, you know, after being with my husband for 17 years, he actually ended up having enough of that. You know, he wasn't a priority. And that's how I ended up single. And I just don't want that to happen for you. And if it has happened for you, it's like, how can we now get you to where you want to be and expedite that process? So we're going to look at the 3 shifts. We're going to look at effectiveness, we're going to look at power, we're going to look at your approach, and very importantly, your priorities. So shift number 1, change the type of power you use. The biggest obstacle to effectiveness is the type of energy we use to get things done. What on earth are you talking about, Tabs? I hear you say. So there are 2 types of powers, and you will have seen both of them in our culture. So the first one is very much that man in a dress. She's very bossy. She's very can be quite aggressive, and you know, it's just very much, you need to get this stuff done. Very yeah, aggressive is probably the energy with which you would see this. A kind of the ball breaker, you know, the woman that gets stuff done and is just like a machine. That kind of woman. The other type of power we see in our culture is like the power of sex, and you see it a lot in advertising. The other day I was actually driving down the A127 and I saw a billboard for a car show, but there were no cars on the billboard. It was just a picture of a very sexy woman, you know. And so it's used a lot through media. And, you know, it has its place, but actually it's like we're only playing with 2 keys of the piano. And actually there's so much more breadth to the energy that we can tap into and the sources of power that we can tap into to really be the best leaders in our lives. So in walks the superwoman, that part of you that is your fear-based animal. She's centered in masculine energy. And I just want you to think about how she impacts your life. You know, this is that part of you who's very kind of aggressive, very push through energy, get stuff done. You know, she's running on her testosterone. The challenge is that she only has, or women only have, the 10th amount of testosterone that men have. So when we run out of testosterone, which is that get stuff done, power through energy that we can plug into, we can start burning out because we start running on adrenaline. And then we start getting adrenal fatigue and our cortisol goes up, our stress hormone. And all of these things are the causes that end up leading to burnout. When we're in this energy for a consistent amount of time, you know, she is that part of you that's like, nope, I need to do it. No one else can do it as good as me. I just need to get on and do that thing. I'm just going to push through. I don't need a break. You know, I'll skip a meal. I'll just keep going until I get this thing done. My to-do list is massive. I'm just going to keep going. That is that woman. I'm going to go out dating and I'm going to find someone. I'm going to find the next person, and that didn't work. And I'm going to go. I'm in a complete doing energy. And I just want you to take a moment to think about how she's impacting your life. How is she impacting your relationships? So from a dating point of view, how is she affecting that? Your other relationships in your life? How is she affecting your work, your business, your health, even your divine purpose? How is that all being affected? And the thing is, when we're in that superwoman, when we are in that place, we can very quickly start to feel overwhelmed. And when we feel overwhelmed and we're in that energy and we're trying to get stuff done, and you're on that hamster wheel, superwoman's cousins can appear. And nearly every woman I speak to totally gets this. And we tend to oscillate. Now, this is the energy of these things. So like that energy of the bitch, that energy of, just go and do it because I'm so overwhelmed. I need you to do that thing. Yeah. Now, I've always seen bitch as being quite aggressive, but actually she can be very subtle. Bitch can be very, very subtle. She can be quite passive aggressive. And if I fall into this disempowerment myself, I end up being passive aggressive because I'm not an overtly aggressive person. And it will be little comments and little digs and little under the table things that I might say that are kind of little daggers, little stabs. Or it's that victim energy of feeling like life is happening to you, that everything's happening to you, and poor me. Or martyr. Again, if I feel really disempowered, she is the place I go to, that place of, don't worry, I'll just crack on, I'll just do it, I'll sort it out, and stuff you, I'm just going to get on with it. I don't need your help. You know, it's very much that martyr energy. And I know when I feel disempowered, that's the place that I go to. And so what do you recognize in yourself? Where do you recognize these disempowering energies coming up in your life? And it could be in dating. You know, is the bitch energy, you know, looking at people and like men and judging and just being hypercritical, or that victim of feeling like, you know, all men are horrible and they're just treating me like crap? Where is it for you? So what's the answer? I hear you call. We need a new kind of power to be the woman the world needs us to be. This is a saying or a quote by Dr. Joanna Martin, who's the founder of One of Many, who is someone that I've trained with as well as one of their coaches and the women's trainers. And it's like, well, what is that? What is that new power? And at One of Many, they talk about soft power. Now, you can also call this feminine, but feminine can trigger some women. But if you think of it in the terms of soft power, so what does that mean? What's soft mean? Agreeable. Agreeable. No, I'm not just going to agree to anything you say. No, that's not what it means. That is not what this is like. Agreeable to you, calm, gentle, yielding, just feeling that softness in your body. Like when I'm in my masculine energy, all my muscles feel tight. My body feels tense. Whereas if I relax my body, it just feels softer, which makes it feel easier. And then you've got power, the etymology of power, Middle English, to be able. So it's to be able to do whatever you need to do. It's about the collaboration of many, not the pursuit of one, which is very feminine. Feminine is about collaboration. The masculine is more about winning. And so when you think about soft power, that's where these 5 power types come in. Now, some people like it, some people don't. But actually, it's very simple. What I love about these tools, when you think about feminine energy, you're like, what is that? What is feminine energy? Talk about the yin yang, you talk about the masculine and the feminine and all the characteristics of both. But essentially, what One of Many have done is they've managed to break it down into these 5 power types that we can use interchangeably in every area of our life, every day and every minute. It is absolutely beautiful. And if you're in any of these energies, you're going to feel empowered. And that's what this is all about. It's about how you feel on a daily basis. It's about feeling. And I'm not going to go into them all too deeply, but for this workshop, we're going to talk about the 2 that I think are most relevant, which is Queen and Lover. Really great for so many things. And first of all, I'm going to introduce you to the Queen. Now, the Queen, she, as you can see here, she's very regal. She's very serene. If you think about our Queen, who, left us last year, how, she was, regardless of how you feel about the royal family, she was very regal. She is receptive, she's humble, she doesn't do guilt. She sets boundaries, talk a lot about boundaries, and boundaries are not a negative thing, they're a positive thing. Boundaries are there to serve you and others so that you're not sacrificing more than you need to. She is visionary, she's clear, she knows what she wants in her life. She knows what she wants in her love life. She knows what she wants her ideal relationship to be. She seeks counsel. She's decisive, she's committed to her realm. That's the Queen energy. And we're going to do a very, very quick exercise. I'd really love you to join me in actually feeling what the Queen is like in your body. Now, for some of you, you may never have ever done any kind of meditation. And for some of you, this will be like breezy, easy. Doesn't matter where you are, you cannot get it wrong. And this is all about practice. It's about coming out of our logical mind, connecting with our hearts and bodies, because that's where our power is as women, especially when it comes to the opposite sex, in creating that connection and that magnetism and that attraction. So what you to do is just get really comfortable in your seat. And you're just going to start. This will be a couple of minutes. I want you to start by taking a nice, long, slow, deep breath. So breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. And get really relaxed. It might have been a while since you've taken a few minutes to yourself. Just to take your attention from your mind into your body, bringing your attention down, all the way down to your toes. Just notice how your feet feel on the floor. Notice that connection between the soles of your feet and the floor. And I want you to gently come up your body, relaxing all of the muscles as you come up. Coming up your legs, your knees, your thighs, to your tummy, into your chest, just relaxing. If you notice any tension or any tightness, just let that go. Allow it to release. Imagine that tension is releasing as if it were butter melting, coming up to your head, feeling really relaxed, having your attention in your body. And I want you now to imagine that you're wearing a crown on your head. Put this crown on, and as you have this crown, it's quite heavy, full of beautiful jewels. And it's going to make you sit up straight. You sit differently, more poised, more serene. Your shoulders are back. Your chin is perfectly angled to hold your crown. That's it. Just feel the difference in your posture as you imagine yourself in that queen energy, putting your crown on, having your cloak around your shoulders, and imagine you're sitting on your throne and you're looking out at your realm. I want you to notice where you feel that queen energy, that part of you that's certain of her place in the world, that part of you who's visionary, that part of you that's serene, that part of you who doesn't do guilt, who's comfortable setting boundaries. She seeks counsel. She's clear. She's decisive. She's certain. And she's certain of her place in this world, in her world. People go to her for guidance. And people want to serve. And as I say those words, I want you just to imagine where you feel the center of that queen energy. Does it have a color? Does it have a vibration? Is it big? Is it small? Is it moving? Is it still? What else do you notice? Any pictures, any sounds? And I want you now to imagine that getting bigger, expanding that energy out from your body, out into the room that you're in, out, filling the whole building. And very, very quickly now, imagine it just spreading across the county, across the UK, across Europe, and all the way around the world, feeling the strength of that queen energy. And she starts to come all the way back in now, all the way back into your body, feeling the strength and the power of that queen within you. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. Notice how you feel. And from this place, I want you to think of a situation right now where the queen would be more helpful than Superwoman. What would your queen do differently? How would she show up differently in this situation? What would she be saying that's different? Where might she be sharing her vision or her boundary? That's it. Just take some notes right now. Notice what comes up for you. Just notice how wise you are. This is all within you. This untapped resource that you have within you right now. It's just about accessing it. Brilliant. So next I want to shift into that lover energy. So these are both great. They're all great for business and relationships. But the lover, as you can imagine, is wonderful for that magnetism, because the energy of the lover is magnetic. She does hold this promise of this rich experience, and it is a juicy energy. And even in business, when I hear women in business say to me, but how does that really benefit my business? Well, when you're doing your marketing, when you're networking, when you're in selling mode, lover is fantastic. because people want to be around. People are attracted to that lover energy. And so you can access that energy in business as well as in your intimate relationship and when you're dating. So I want you now to do the same. We're going to look at that part of you. She might be a flicker. She might be strong. Who knows? But the lover energy is the domain of self-care. Women with low lover scores tend to be have low self-care, self-love, or they're just not connected sexually. And there could be other things as well, but they're the two that it tends to fall into. And so I want you to do the same again. We're going to do it a bit quicker now. Just going to get back into that centered place. Take a couple of deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Get centered, get relaxed. That's it. Well done. And just quicker now, coming up your body, just relaxing, sinking back into that softness of your body, connecting in with that lover energy. Connecting in, and just notice where you feel the center of this energy in your body. That part of you that's magnetic. That part of you who is the center of self-care. She's captivating, she's magnetic, she's inviting, she's seductive. She brings ambience and beauty. She's a giver of life force energy. She relishes in the art of giving and receiving pleasure in all domains. She delights in emotions, that sense of feeling, good or bad. She just relishes in that feeling of emotion, that richness of life. That sexual part of you, that seductive, sensual part of you. Where do you feel her in your body right now? Does it have a colour? Are there any other sensations, images, sounds? What do you notice about that lover energy? I want you to imagine now that expanding, filling your whole body with that energy, that colour, those feelings, whatever it is. And imagine it now expanding all the way. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, going across Europe, across the world, feeling the strength and power of that lover energy, that juicy, magnetic, inviting. There's a real richness to her invitation. And imagine that now coming all the way back into your body, feeling the strength and power of that lover energy. That's it. She feels different, right? It's a different feeling in your body. And what I want you to do now is just think about a situation where your lover would be more helpful than Superwoman. What would your lover do differently? What would she do differently? Is she gonna be able to let go of that thing? Feel gratitude? Is she gonna bring some magnetism to that situation? What would she do differently? Is she maybe gonna be vulnerable? Very good. So we're going to move on now to shift 2, which is looking at shifting your approach from being productive, being able to generate, create, enhance, bring forth goods and services, that productive. We all say that, don't we? You've been productive today. And it's really good to shift that productive to fruitful, which is producing an abundant growth as of fruit. What feels better? Even when I say that, productive, it's very masculine. Productive, it's very hard. There's no room for negotiation or flexibility or movement. It's productive. That has an effect on your body. Or is it fruitful? Fruitful dating, fruitful in business, having that rich abundance. So the number one time management mistake is trying to be more productive. Every time management training I've ever done and delivered, by the way, I used to deliver this training, this old school paradigm, which is how can I do more in less time? So it's just about being able to cram more tasks into less time and strategies to do that. That is what we're taught. Whereas to be more fruitful is about us learning from nature, and it's about rhythms and cycles. You know, you wouldn't expect to go into your garden in the winter and see your apple tree with beautiful, juicy apples on. It doesn't work like that because it's in winter season. But there's lots happening under the earth. That fruit will come back, it will bear fruit again. And it's the same in every area of our life. Business has seasons and cycles. Our relationships have seasons and cycles. Even in a day, in a month, sorry, in a day, in a week, in a month, they have cycles and rhythms. So yeah, every year has a rhythm. Like every month, regardless of where you are in your cycle, where you are, whether you're, you know, pre or post menopausal, we all have a rhythm. And even if you aren't having a period anymore and you've been through the menopause, you still have a cycle, an energetic cycle. And it's about getting to know that cycle and where your energy peaks and dips in that time and working with that flow as opposed to working against it. When I think of productive, it's the same amount, same energy, same time every day. If you're on a production line, it produces the same amount of units in the same time, it's just consistent. Same. But we aren't like that. We're human. We are not machines. We are human and we're women and we have 3 lots of hormones which affect how we feel. It affects our energy. And rather than trying to be productive, how can we be more fruitful? So going within when we need to and taking that time to replenish and then coming back out and then being that gorgeous, attractive, magnetic woman. One of the things that I teach is batching for energy matching. So it's not just about batching your tasks, it's the energy with which you need to do them. So it might be, you know, you might say, well, I'm going to answer all my emails, and that would be batching tasks. But one of those emails might be responding to a complaint, in which case you might be in a different energy. You might need to be in Queen or Mother to be able to do that. Whereas for the rest of them, you're more of warrioress, just getting it done. So it is about like matching where we are. And so even when it comes to dating and business, your business will have a cycle and it's all about replenishment. And, you know, if I probably wouldn't choose to be going on dates around my period because I can feel a bit more sensitive around that time. I feel quite low in energy. So that probably isn't the best time for me to go and date because I want to give myself optimum opportunity. Every day has a rhythm, rituals to start the day, transition through the day, and the end of the day. You know, we talk about bridging rituals, you know, how you bridge between each energy shift in your day and what you do to do that. Planning is so crucial, like planning out what you're doing and when you're doing it, and then batching your right energy. It feels like it's the opposite of freedom, but it absolutely gives you more freedom. So I just want you to think about one change you can make to take advantage of rhythm and become more fruitful. So what's one change you could make today, one small change that you could make to take advantage of rhythm and become more fruitful? What is that for you today? How could you look at where your energy is? Do you need time out? Do you need to take a break? Do you need to meditate? Do you need to do a bit more of your queen exercise, feeling her a bit more? Do you need to put some boundaries in place? Do you just need to reframe it in your mind that you want to be more fruitful rather than productive? Very good. So lastly, most of us prioritize everyone else first and ourselves last. How much do you experience that? You know, the kids, your clients, you know, the people that you're, you know, even men that you don't know on dating sites and dating apps can often come first because you might need to go to sleep, but instead you end up having a conversation that gets you to bed late. So shift 3 is about prioritizing your needs and your boundaries. This is so important. And lots of people teach this about self-care, but I really want you to think about what that really looks like for you. What does prioritizing your needs look like? What boundaries do you need? And you might need a lot and you might need not many, but wherever you are, it's about taking that first step. So let's look at needs and desires. So if your needs are not being met, you are not okay. You are in some way impaired. You are hungry. You are tired. You have got a backache. You know, when your needs are not getting met, you're not okay. And what can sometimes happen is when we're not getting our needs met, say for instance, we're not eating, you know, the nutrition that we need each day, then what happens is we go for the desire. We try and fill the gap of our needs with desires. So we'll skip lunch, we'll then be absolutely starving, go to the fridge, and then we just see that massive bar of chocolate and it's easy to grab and that's what we stuff because it makes us feel better. Or, you know, rather than getting extra sleep, we have that glass of wine. Now, chocolate and wine is nothing wrong with those. I love them. It's all good. But it's just noticing if you're using it to fulfill your needs rather than what you actually need. And when I talk about needs, I'm talking about your sleep. How much sleep do you need? Are you getting the sleep that you need? You know, are you being replenished with enough water? Food, what type of food? What works for you? Everybody's needs are different. And this is about you understanding your own needs. And it might be you think about what your needs are and it changes when you start monitoring, actually, do I feel okay? No, I don't. Our movement, our connection, especially when you're single, there's usually a real need for some kind of deeper connection. So where else can you get that? From yourself, from family, from friends, from your children? Obviously, sexually, it's not the same, of course, but making sure that you're okay. And the more that you're okay, when you start then doing the things that are desired and having that massage and doing those extra things that you're filling your cup up with, that's where you can get to a place of generosity. And you have got more to give yourself, your clients, your children, and dating. Taking care of your needs also means being comfortable with saying no and setting and maintaining boundaries. I had a client the other day say to me, but how? How do I prioritize myself? How do I do that? And, you know, when we had a deeper conversation, you know, there are things unconsciously that hold you back. So you might know this stuff, but for some reason, something is just holding you back from doing those things. It's like an unconscious sabotage. And that's what I can help clients clear. Setting and maintaining boundaries, absolutely. So I want you to think about, what is a behavior you're currently tolerating, which you know is depleting your energy? Now, it could be your own behavior. It could be the fact that you just have to sit up and watch the end of that Netflix box set before you go to bed. It can be your own behavior, or it could be someone else's. It could be clients, it could be family, children, people you're dating. What is the behavior you're currently tolerating that you know is depleting your energy? Have a think about that. And what you're going to do. So here's the recap. Power. It's about shifting out of that superwoman or her evil cousins into that empowered place, that queen energy, that lover energy. And when I talk to my clients, ultimately it's about how you feel. When you feel disempowered, you don't feel good. When you feel disempowered, you're questioning yourself, you're self-critical, you're feeling resentful, guilty, shame, sad, hurt. You don't feel good. Your body tells you when you feel disempowered. And then when you communicate from that place, that's when things start to go wrong. So how can you feel more empowered? Feel more empowered when you feel like more confident in yourself. You feel like you can set those boundaries, you can prioritize yourself, stepping into that power. The approach, being fruitful, that approach to life, the approach to tasks, your approach to dating, that abundant mindset that there are plenty of good men out there waiting for you to find and magnetize into your world. Priorities. Prioritizing yourself first and foremost. And if you're not prioritizing yourself, why not? What's going on for you? What are the obstacles? What are the challenges? What are the things that you're saying to yourself that are preventing you from prioritizing yourself? These are questions to ask yourself, because once you have an awareness, you can start changing them. And that feels really empowering. So one of the things I do is empowerment coaching. So whether it's business, and particularly in relationships, you are at the center of everything. And the more empowered that you feel, the easier your relationships are going to be. Your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. When you go dating, your self-esteem can be knocked, especially if you get rejected and you get messed about. And so this is making sure that you have that resilience in your self-confidence and your self-esteem. That self-belief, that belief in yourself and what you can do. Help quieten that inner critic. I call it the itty bitty shitty committee. That thing, that part of you that just says terrible things. Be decisive. Sometimes we just need to be more decisive, and it helps with this. Making conscious choices. A lot of the time, we feel trapped. We feel like we have no choice. We have to do that thing or not do that thing. But actually, there's always a choice, and it's about stepping into that place knowing that you can always make conscious choices. Saying no without guilt, that's a biggie. The amount of time I used to say yes when I meant no and then feel resentful about it. Asking for help, massive, especially for masculine and feminine. Men want to provide for, so if you can get better at asking for help, it doesn't make you weak. It's a powerful place to be. Making sure you're getting your needs met. It's very attractive to men if you do it in a soft power way. Having boundaries, setting boundaries, and practicing self-care. These are all things that come under empowerment coaching, which is what I do. And ultimately, when you are in a good place, when you are feeling empowered, you will attract the right man. There are other things as well. You can read my guide for that. And here's the thing, it's like a double whammy. You won't just attract the right man, but it will attract more success into your business, more clients, more profit. So doing this work will help every area of your life, particularly your love life and your business. Money and men and money. So what's the next step? The next step, honestly, is to book a breakthrough session. That is the quickest and easiest way for you to know what support you need. And having that breakthrough session will just really help you understand what your biggest challenge is, and we can bust some of it there and then in that session. And then we can decide if you want to continue working, if we want to continue working with each other. But this is so important for you. If you have gone through this workshop and you've been answering questions and you're sitting there saying to yourself, I understand this stuff, but how do I do it? How do I actually make those changes in my life? I can help hold your hand through that process. And I'm really, really good at it. So if you want to have that breakthrough session, just drop me an email at tabitha@tabithajane.co.uk. And I would love to have that session with you and help you bust through some of this stuff so that you can feel more empowered to attract the man that you're really looking for and have more success in your business and have things just feel a lot easier. That's enough from me. I hope you've enjoyed this time. I hope you've got something out of it. And I really, really want you to promise me that you will go and do the 1 or 2 things that you've written down in your book and that you're going to do differently to help yourself. And I'm sure I will see you over social media, somewhere else. And yeah, have an awesome rest of your day, evening, and life. Mwah!